The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the WZWA Network, and welcome to my review show here of NXT's Great American Bash 2023 on July 30th, 2023, from the HEB Center in Cedar Park, Texas. Although they kept saying that they were in Austin, Texas. In front of approximately 4,100 fans. I still do not have a official attendance number yet, but not that anyone really cares anyway. It looks like a great house for the show. We have an intro with Cody talking about the Great American Bash. Of course, his father invented the Great American Bash. Get some WCW footage. I like it. Apparently, and I wasn't going to go back and watch it, I'm sorry, but apparently on the pre-show, there was a match. Finally, they're starting to put matches back on the pre-show. Dragon Lee, Nathan Fraser, Valentina Feroz, and Yulissa Leon defeated Meta 4, which is Jakari Jackson, Lash Legend, Noam Dar, and Oro Mensah. 10 minutes 51, apparently it went. I'm sorry, I could have gone back and watched it, but come on, give me a break. Next time, I promise I will. But, after watching a wicked main event, the last thing I wanted to do was go back and watch a pre-show match. Anyway, let's get underway, shall we? NXT tag team titles on the line here. GALLAS defending the belts against ATA fucking Town. Hey, fuck doing. And of course, Stacks, the family, I guess they can be known as. I thought to myself from the outset, I think a title switch is okay by now. GALLAS have had quite the run, but I think after all the hard work, Tony D, after all the hard work he's put in, Stacks as well, he's really improved. For me, that duo deserve something, and it was about time that Tony D managed to find himself some gold. I think I already said that this went 8 minutes 43, but I'll just say it again. I think Tony D's looking a bit more jacked than usual. I think he's been working. Stacks early in the match, very impressed with his stuff. A reversal of the arm drag into a headlock. That was great stuff. I think GALLAS are a solid tag team, and maybe after they've dropped these belts here, maybe now it's time to throw them on the main roster, because Jesus H. Christ, we need more teams. We need to beef up that division and make it hot again like it was in the Attitude Era. Yes, I'm bringing that up again because Jesus Christ, how many great teams were there? Dudley Boys, APA, Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, even teams like the Headbangers, Kai and Tai, Viscera and Midian. There were so many teams back then. I mean, a plethora of teams. And not only that, sometimes you'd have Rock and Sock. You'd have Kane and Undertaker. The tag team division, once upon a time, meant something, brother. Now we can try and get back there. I know Sammy and Kevin are having their reign right now, but once that's done, you know what? I'd also keep the Usos away. And the New Day need to do something completely different. We need a whole fresh division. And, you've got some teams there. You've got the OC. You've got Imperium. GALLAS could go over there as well. So let's see where this all heads in the future. We have all this potential with these tag teams in NXT, and then nothing happens with them on the main roster. Anyway, let's get back to it. Tony D gets a hot tag. Great fire, big boy. ATA fucking ton. Great superplex, and then a headbutt combo for a near fall. So Tony D superplex into the ring, and then as it happened, Stacks, boom, with a flying headbutt from the top rope. Wolfgang from GALLAS, very impressive for a big bastard. Stacks got laid out. Tony made the save for him. Joe Coffey got laid out with the crowbar. Soon after, bada boom, bada bing. Love that tag team finishing name. New tag team champions. Tony, T fucking Tone and Stacks Lorenzo, Channing Stacks Lorenzo. So great little match. Still wish they brought Nunzio in for some sort of cameo or Chuck Palumbo, Johnny Stamboli. Anywho, if you can have the LWO, then let's bring back the FBI. Come on. Anyway, Cora Jade hype video. And look, I'm going to say this now. Too many videos on this show. Too many hype videos, music videos, video packages. Yes, I'm sure this is a big kind of stage for NXT. You want to get over some of the characters. You can do that with vignettes, which you know, a bit more interesting as far as I'm concerned than a music video where every now and then you hear some verbiage from them from when they've cut some promos in the past. But, you know, I watched the Cora Jade one because of obvious reasons, okay? Yes, all right. I'm a hot-blooded male. What do you want me to say, dickhead? So, yes, it was a hype video, and, mate, I was hyped. Let's move forward. Weapons Wild match. Why don't you just call it a hardcore match? You always got to be different, NXT. 11 minutes, 50 seconds for this ferocious feuding battle between Roxanne Perez and Blair Davenport. So here's the thing, right? Another little thing that annoys me. Roxanne is about to have a serious fight. She's about to have a fight with someone she's been so fucking pissed off with for all the attacks backstage. Blair's attacked other ladies. You know, Roxanne's going to put her in her place. Wouldn't you walk out with a bit of purpose, like, you know, you're ready to go? Why are you smiling? Why do you have to smile so much during your entrance? Why do you have to fucking smile so much? You're about to fight someone that you want to smash your head in. Why would you smile? Oh, because there was a plant at ringside that she was going to have a fake selfie with, and that was going to lead to the start of the match when Blair attacked her. Don't care. I'm sick of it. I've always been sick of it. If someone's a badass and they're ready to have a fight, then they shouldn't be smiling. Why would you smile? Makes me sick. So it was obvious to me the dude in a mask. The dude in the mask was trying to get a selfie of Roxanne. Definitely a plant that had a familiar face, because let's be honest, why would you get a selfie with a pretty chick? You know, that's a WWE superstar. She's famous. Why would you get a selfie, Angie, wearing a fucking luchador mask? Why would you do that? Showing your friends, hey man, see, look, I got a picture of Roxanne Perez and she got attacked after it happened. And then your friend's like, yeah, I don't know if that's you or not, nerd. Let's move forward. Fiery beginning to the match here, obviously. Did enjoy the suicide dive Roxanne attempted, but then got hit in the face with a trash can. I really liked the moment where Blair Davenport started yelling at Booker T at ringside. It made me laugh because the look in his face, like knowing he can't do anything about it. What's he gonna do? Like get up and yocker? So Booker T's little pissed off face really made me laugh. Roxanne, I don't know what that note meant. Roxanne gets back in the can. What? What does that mean? What, she went to the toilet? She gets back in the can? I'm sorry. But Roxy's aggression, well done, love. Well done. Too bad you could have shown that aggression during your entrance, but whatever. I know it's an edict, probably. All ladies and the baby faces, please smile on your entrance. Thank you. Great counter of the pop rocks where Blair just kind of shrugged her off her shoulders. Very nice. Oh, no, wait, no, she didn't. She held on and then she kind of like pushed her over the top of her shot. My bad. She did it when he shrugged off the shoulders when later on Roxanne went throat first onto the top rope, which was, again, a great reversal. One thing, I know that all y'all Americans over there, you have Peacock, right? We have a service called Binge here in Australia, and that's where the WWE Network moved over to, right? And this is one thing that, man, you know what? I fucking miss the WWE Network so much. To me, it was just easy to have this hub where it was just the fucking wrestling, and I don't have to sift through all these movies and categories and television shows, documentaries, trying to find the fucking WWE logo on my Binge account. I'm so, you know, maybe it's whinging for whinging's sake, but you know, I'm a millennial, and what I want it now. I want it now, like that. You know, I don't want to have to. See, here's the thing. Like, I grew up in the 90s. I remember what it was like back then. A lot of young people these days have no idea how frustrating things were. You know, you never got to binge watch things. You had to wait the next week for the next episode of something. You know, you want to load up your WWE Network, mate. we had VHS tapes and you stick it in and realize that you had to rewind it all the way back to the start. Anyway, enough of my whinging from my binging, but still, I miss when it was just simpler with the WWE Network. They had so much stuff on there. And you know what? They could have probably put more on there. You know, why did we ever have every single episode of Velocity and Heat and WWF Metal? Just put everything on there. WCW Saturday Night, etc. Anyway, my point is that I started watching this yesterday, but after I had some really nice baby back ribs for dinner that I made, because I'm just great like that. I was so destroyed after that. I went to bed and I was out. I didn't wake up until like 9 a.m. and I was like, oh shit, I forgot to watch NXT. So anyway, again, the point is when I went to load up NXT Great American Bash, it would have been nice if Binge, you little pricks, it would have been nice if it went back to where I was yesterday. No, I had to try and find the spot again. Anyway, first world problems. There's people starving out there and I'm complaining about that. Falcon arrow onto a trash can, very nice. Pop rocks again. Oh yes, as I mentioned, reversed onto the ropes. Perez pivots well at one stage when Blair misses a stomp. I've mentioned it before about Roxanne and I think Tiffany when Indy Hartwell got injured during a match that they had, a three-way dance. I'd mentioned that they didn't know how to pivot on the spot. And they looked lost out there when Indy went backstage because they had their little spots all planned out. So I thought she pivoted well when Blair missed a stomp, hit a Russian leg sweep. If that wasn't a thing and it was all meant to be like that, then I got fooled. Roxanne hits a splash through the table from the top rope to the outside. Huge. And then after that, she throws Blair into the ring, hits this sick pop rocks onto the chairs. That was messed up. Poor Blair. But props to the ladies. That very close to being match of the show if that main event did not take place. And we'll get to that. We go backstage after this matchup, and Thea Hale's getting pumped up by Chase U, Duke Hudson and Andre Chase. And then they go to Tiffany Stratton, right? And she's lovely to look at, obviously. And I know that Ludwig Kaiser likes it too. But this is WWE, typical WWE. She's got her matches in like, gosh, it must have been like 40, 50 minutes away from this point in the show. And she's standing there in one spot, stretching. No one's standing in a spot, stretching and jumping on the spot and warming up for that long before the match, okay? Maybe a little bit here and there, but they're not just going to stand in a spot. That's just nitpicking, isn't it? I'm sorry. Coming up next, this was interesting. Baron Corbin taking on Gable Steveson. Is it Steveson or Stevenson? Let's look at cage match. It's Steveson, isn't it? I bet you it's Steveson. Gable Steveson. I prefer Stevenson, but that's okay. Steveson will do. 6 minutes, 51 seconds. Baron Corbin makes his entrance, and I thought to myself, because I didn't know what the next match was at that point. And I was like, oh, it's Baron Corbin. I'm like, Baron, I like the look. Let's stick with this one, shall we? Let's stay in this type of character of Baron Corbin. He comes across cool for the first time in how long? He's been a heel for so long. Let's keep him back in that kind of lone wolf style that he had when he was in NXT, when he had hair. He's got no hair now, but that doesn't matter. Neither do I. And I'm still cool. Baron can still be cool. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes from here, if he can retain that cool factor. Gable, his debut here, his first match, Olympic gold medalist. This is a big one for him, Kurt Angle's first opponent was Sean Stasiak. Gable's here is Baron Corbin. So it's taken him a long time to finally wrestle. I know he was probably interrupted by, I think, did he try for the Olympics again? I don't remember. I thought it was really interesting seeing this match begin here because it was really back and forth. I thought Gable was just going to have his way with Corbin here. But they went a different direction. So maybe that's good. Because as I always complain about that foregone conclusion thing, that's very prevalent in AEW. So there's a "Let's Go Corbin" chant at the beginning, and I was like, oh, maybe it's just some fans messing around, but it gets worse and worse as the match wears on. So it was interesting to begin with. Gable hit a German on the floor on Baron. We were using the ring post here for Baron Corbin's heat several times. Then the crowd at some point were completely against Gable, and I was like, this is odd. This is odd. I don't know what he's done wrong. Maybe at some stages I was like, oh, he's supposed to be this technical master, and he looks a little bit shaky, a little green out there. That might not go well. You know, Kurt Angle is one of a kind. You know, he took to it like a duck to water, mate. But Gable wasn't sure. Like, give him some time, obviously. The way he hits his belly-to-belly overhead suplexes was very interesting. Corbin powered it to the outside. You know what? Oh, no, sorry, clotheslined him to the outside. You know what I would have done? And maybe he would have got in massive trouble for this, because I know how serious and pedantic that WWE are backstage these days. But I would, if I was Gable Steveson, it would have been great if he grabbed that microphone and did exactly what Kurt Angle did and said to the crowd, how dare you boo an Olympic gold medalist? I think, who knows, that you know, that could have been a real nice throwback. But then again, maybe you don't want to repeat what's already happened in the past. So, man, this was a physical affair. There was a double count out after they went flying over the ring the announce table ringside. And I was like, Jesus Christ, okay, well, I was like, it's different. This is different. I wasn't really expecting that. The crowd chanted bullshit. I'm trying to hold back on my swearing on this review, but I know I've already done it. Gable just messes up the security guys with some great belly-to-bellies and all that. Then Gable got smashed into the ring post from Corbin, and like now Corbin's killing security as well. And I was like, this is wicked. Like this seems like something that, you know, you wouldn't expect for these two for this matchup. You would have thought that Gable would have just beat him, but they went a different direction. Corbin then goes after Gable again, who's selling the shot to the ring post, and then Gable just throws Corbin through the barricade, and I was like, that was awesome. It was a fun ending to this whole segment. I was actually hoping Corbin would get up again and go after him, but they faded to black. And we went backstage again. So yes, anyway, I should give a little bit more of a recap. I just thought it was interesting, different. We'll see where Gable goes next, and I'm sure this feud with Baron will continue. But I did like the sell of the hatred between the two. And it just remains to be seen how Gable's going to go as we move forward. Is it too soon, despite the fact we've waited like several years for him to get onto television? Lyra Valkyra, interviewed by Sexy Face, Mackenzie Mitchell. She looked good. An interview interrupted yet again. These poor interviewers, and I'm talking about like Gia Miller from Impact Wrestling. I'm talking like Renee Paquette, Mackenzie Mitchell here, whoever else there is. I feel bad for them, because every time they get their moment on the show where they get to interview somebody, they don't get to be shown as a broadcast journalist who's trying to get the scoop, which is what they used to do back in the day. They are just there for whatever cookie cutter angle that they're going for, which is, again, someone getting attacked 10 seconds into their interview. And it was JC Jane attacking Lyra Valkyra. Rhea and Dom show up. Again, I find it odd that JC Jane would be at the building when she's not booked on the show. That's nitpicking. I know that's nitpicking, but still, they do it a lot. Like, remember the time Ilja Dragunov had his gear with him walking into the building? He got destroyed by Dijak, and you never saw him again for the rest of the show. And he wasn't booked on the show. That's what makes me laugh. What's he doing with his gear? What's the point, mate? Anyway, I know I nitpick too much. Let's get to the next one. NXT North American Championship here. Dominik Mysterio defends against Mustafa Ali and Wes Lee. 12 minutes, 6 seconds. This one got. This also was very good. Great finish as well. We'll get to it, but bro, suck it, Wes. Suck it. You had such a long title reign, and it's not your fault. I know it's not your fault. I'm sure you're probably a cool guy, but your character is so boring, and I've said it for months, and I really wish they would do something that would make you slightly interesting as a character. So I was happy to see that Dominik, who all the wrestling marks, they hate Dominik Mysterio because I can't wrestle. Shut up. Great opening spot with Dom trying to run away, ends up getting caught, gets just a bit of a beat down here from Ali and Wes. Booker T trying to sell that Twitter's now called X. Where we treaded on old X. Whatever it was he did, that was great. Great work as the usual book. Gotta love the book. Dom shoving them off the top rope to the outside was great. He gets to the top rope and flexes. He goes to suplex them both after hitting 2/3 of 3 amigos onto both of them. He goes to suplex them both. It was never going to happen. And then he cops 3 amigos from both of them. That was cool. But then, unfortunately, they followed it up with one of those damn annoying spots where, I don't know what happened. Did Wes chuck Ali into Dominik, who held him in a DDT, and then Wes super kicks Dominik and Dominik DDT? Don't do it. Why do you guys like that for? It's so dumb. He's not grasping him for a DDT. He's dazed. It's not going to happen, mate. I wish we could eliminate these nonsensical spots from pro wrestling. We see them too often. What are the odds that this seems to just happen all the time? Like, what if he did the super kick, but the DDT didn't happen? Wouldn't that be a little bit more interesting for once? Surely that would happen one time. Okay. Would be surprised if Ali won it here to get Dom to focus back on WWE television, but we'll get there. Tornado DDT from Ali was nuts. That was nuts. He locks in a Boston Crab and also a camel clutch at the same time, Ali. And then Dom bites Ali's hand to get him to relinquish the hold. And then Booker T going on, well, man, let me tell you, when you go to jail, man, you find out all the tricks of the trade. And yeah, Vic Joseph immediately getting all pissed. He was there for 2 hours. It still makes me laugh that he makes a big deal out of going to jail for 2 hours. Ali, you didn't need to do that 450 splash onto the ring apron, dude. It's too dangerous, man. Match didn't need it. You missed it, so it wasn't. So anyway, Wes Lee hits a dive on Dominik Mysterio. Rhea Ripley takes exception to it. She gets in his face, says not to do it again. Wes goes to inside the ring to do it again. Rhea gets on the apron to stop him. Rhea turns around, and then Wes jumps over Rhea onto Dominik Mysterio again. Rhea has enough. She snaps and she hits the riptide on Wes Lee through the announce table. And I loved that. Eat it, Wes. Then Wes kicked out of it, though, of course. Got thrown back in the ring, kicked out. Referee, this annoyed me. I think Dominik had the North American title in his hand, or no, Rhea threw it in. Referee grabbed it and said no. It's like, it's no DQ, ref. Who let this happen? Why would he stop you? Rhea gives Dominik her title belt. Title shot to the head of Wes Lee. He kicks out again. Then Dom goes to the top rope. Ali nails Dom on the top rope. Ali then goes to the top rope, hits the 450. Looks like it's over. Rhea pulls Ali off him. Dominik manages then to hit the froggy. And Dirty Dom retains the championship. What a great finish. Great drama. Whoever agented this match, I'd love to know who that was, because that was absolutely brilliant. Again, there's too many music videos between matches to skip. And we're coming up next. NXT Women's Championship. It's a submission match. Thea Hale getting a title shot here. She's been in this program with Tiffany Stratton for a few months now. which I find interesting because most of the time she's just been like a lackey at ringside for Chase U, and a cheerleader, etc. And you didn't really see her wrestle very much. And I keep saying things like that, even though I don't watch the weekly show, so maybe she did. Gosh, I'm just ruining these reviews for myself, aren't I? Because I'm not actually like keeping up to date on everything. But anyway, she won a battle royal. She nearly beat Tiffany. Referee didn't see Tiffany tapping out during that match, and Tiffany ended up retaining. I think it was at Gold Rush week 2, which unfortunately, I'm sorry to everyone. I reviewed week 1 and I didn't bother with week 2 because week 1 got like 11 views in like 3 days. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to all this effort if no one's going to watch, but I'm giving this one a go because it's a PLE. Tiffany makes an entrance. I love the Barbie influence thing. That was really cool. And yep, she had a hat. But she's got a hat. Gimme, gimme, gimme. I want a me. Let's see if you get that reference. I really was hoping, something like this would happen. This is just me fantasy booking. Mandy Rose coming out after this match to confront Tiffany, and that's the next angle. That would be interesting. But I guess Mandy's not coming back. And I will talk about Toxic Attraction in a moment as well. Tiffany, she's a real athlete, man. Let's be perfectly honest. Very impressed with her. Great surfboard from her. She locked in a lot of old school submissions in this match, especially Bruno Sammartino's backbreaker. Oh, I was loving it. Nice reversal of a coffin drop attempt, which Thea springboarded back and got caught in a leg scissors. Then we get some drama with the Kimura. This is where we're going. We've got some psychology here. The back has been worked on Thea. The arm and shoulder has been worked on Tiffy. Just one thing though, sometimes with these ladies with their like T-bone suplexes and exploder suplexes, gosh, they look like they're like a quarter of a millimeter or whatever the measurement is over in the US, that they're like just so close to smashing their head on the ring, when they take that bump. There's an exploder from the top rope. Tiffany, again, her athleticism, like Thea Hale's a small chick, so when she tries to suplex someone, she tried to backdrop Tiffany at one stage, and Tiffany nearly landed on her head because Thea Hale's tiny, bro. Like, tiny people should not do high back body drops. So anyway, a great exploder there from the top rope. Tiffany clears dying on the way down. They really went for it in this match. I was very impressed with the two ladies here. Huge moonsault, the world's prettiest moonsault, onto the back, of Thea Hale. Stratton with the Boston Crab. She locks in the crab a second time. Then she wrenches back further with a single crab while sticking a knee into the spine and instead of span on the pan with Tiffany Stratton, it's span on the fan. Yeah. I like it. That made me laugh on the inside. But then again, she makes me feel a lot of things, Tiffany Stratton. Andre Chase throws in the towel here for Thea Hale, and Duke Hudson did not look happy about it. So Tiffany retains here. Great match. Dom and Dragon Lee backstage. I liked the picking on Dragon Lee for being a Rey Mysterio wannabe. We find out that I'm pretty sure it's the next NXT PLE. No Mercy. They're bringing back the name No Mercy. Thank you. I like it. Let's do more of that shit. Thank you. I'll bring back Fully Loaded, bro. Because Tiffany Stratton makes me fully loaded. That's for sure. It's terrible. Schism backstage with their angle that I've never cared for the stable or any of the angles they've been in. It feels like they're just there. Speaking of something being just there, I'm very concerned with the follow-up to Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, who were at one stage really, affecting the lay of the land in NXT. And now, since their feud, JC's attacked Lyra Valkyra backstage earlier. Gigi hasn't been on any of these shows. None of their feud matches for their feud were ever on an NXT special or a PLE. They were on a regular weekly NXT show. Not sure about that, bro. It's not working for me, brother. But like, that's the thing. They do have a lot of people on the NXT roster. You know, how many matches is this show? How many matches? I'm not counting the pre-show, but this was only 6 matches. You could have done 8. Nothing wrong with putting another half hour on this, I think. But anyway, let's get to the main event of the evening here. NXT Championship on the line. Carmelo Hayes, the champion, with Trick Williams at ringside, defending against Ilja Dragunov. Match went 24 minutes, 7 seconds. So I was surprised that we went from one title match, main title match to another. I thought maybe we could have done with a little palate cleanser, maybe a Ron Breaker squash match. We don't need squash matches on things like this, but maybe, because I just thought, why isn't Ron Breaker on the card? It seemed a bit odd to me. Anywho, here we go. This was great. This was insane. This was match of the show. Ilja Dragunov, his style is very interesting to watch. He's smaller, but he fights so ferociously. It's like he's a bigger guy. It's not noticeable that he's kind of small in comparison to somebody like, I don't know, Gunta. Did laugh when Ilja hit an enziguri on Carmelo Hayes and Carmelo flipped. Like, you're telling me you were kicked that hard in the back of your skull that you did a full flip? That's hilarious. Anybody who watches this show, this PLE, I hate it still, but if they say that this was not a good show, it was boring, they're full of shit. I don't want to swear too much, but I saw somebody who's kind of a little bit of a slight name in the podcasting world say that he thought that the last one, I don't know if it was Battleground or whatever they called that show, but he said that talked about how boring it was. And I'm like, dude, it was a great show. Like, get your dick out of AEW's hand, bro. Anywho, this was super physical between these two. Ilja was becoming a problem for Hayes early on. Hayes didn't have the goods going his way early on. Ilja was destroying him with chops. Trick was there, though, with all the support in the world, and I think that's a great story to tell, that without Trick, you know, Melo might not have been able to fire up and get himself over the line here. Dragunov, I think did he no-sell a spear? I don't know if he no-sold a spear, or was it a super kick? No, it was a super kick. And he turned Melo inside out with a clothesline. So there's the things I don't like. You get kicked full force in the head and you no-sell it. And immediately hit them with a clothesline. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being stupid about that. Hayes almost pins Ilja out of that Cobra clutch that he had locked in. Hayes just kicking Ilja in the skull soon after that. And then he hit his patented head scissors into a slam, and it had so much ferocity. And I just thought these two were beating the hell out of each other to the point where I'm like, they're going to be so sore after this. You know, long gone are the days of Hogan getting a tight headlock from Kevin Nash and saying to him, "Ease up, brother, we already got their money." This springboard into a DDT from Carmelo where he jumps backward. Insane. Like, it was nuts. Dragunov, his bumps, he just throws himself into these bumps. I don't know how any AEW fan can hate on this. I'll never understand, because this is the style of wrestling that they appear to like. But as far as I'm concerned, it's being done in a more correct manner. Huge center from the top rope. Still a 2 count. Lots of 2 counts, man. This amazing reversal of the coast to coast with the code breaker from Carmelo Hayes. The way Ilja bumped out of it. Just flipped so high in the air. I was like, man, no one bumps like this dude. And then I'm like, have mercy, man. Like, if Carmelo goes for the nothing but net and he gets power bombed in midair, and he could have died from that bump. He got thrown onto the back of his neck. Ilja hits his patented diving forearm as Melo's on the floor. 2 count. Wild stuff here. But what does it take to get a pin these days? Then we get a cutter in midair after an attempted superplex from Ilja Dragunov. Flush as hell. Ilja kicks out. Wasn't sure about that. That was such an amazing bump. Like, I couldn't imagine someone kicking out of it. But I'm gonna say it, this was better than Ospreay versus Omega. Sorry. I have to keep saying things like that because, you know, it's important to me to educate. This was nuts, though. I do have to question how many kicks to the head people can handle. I complained about that with Ospreay and Omega, you know, full force knees to the skull and kicks to the face. Like, sometimes it's a bit much. Ilja goes jumping off the stairs to hit his, you know, flying, jumping headbutt to Carmelo Hayes. Trick Williams had the belt in his hand, and it appears Ilja's skull ricocheted off the title belt. Gets thrown into the ring. Carmelo hits the nothing but net, and he retains the championship here for NXT Great America Bash 2023. So there we have it. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. I actually really did enjoy the show. There are still some things NXT can improve on. I would think that you could probably put more matches on these shows, but then again, we know WWE pay-per-views only do 6-7 matches now, and it's still 4 hours long. I don't understand why you can't fit more in, shave a bit of time here and there, maybe less music videos and more, you know, in-ring or backstage stuff or vignettes. I don't know. But still some things here and there, but I think, you know, this NXT is the best NXT it's ever been. That's just my one opinion, and, you know, if you disagree with me, you're wrong. So thank you all for joining me here for the NXT Great America Bash 2023 review from Cedar Park or Austin, Texas. I'm Karlifornia. This is the WZWA Network. Check us out on Patreon. Check us out on ProWrestlingTees.com under our store Thunder Mifflin. And we'll see you next week for another review when we get to review WWE SummerSlam. We'll see you down the road. Thank you. Luke, I hate you. Oh my God. Luke, I hate you.
It was a surprisingly competitive match.
Yeah, the winner of the match should not have won the match.
Network, that's the way we play. Good God Almighty. Network, that's the way we play. Get puppies. Network, that's the way we play. Get.
The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.